Hello everyone, my name is Hotel Delta, and today what I've got for you guys is another Infinite Warfare video. And today what we're talking about is the Black Sky gameplay. So for those of you who haven't seen it yet, I'll have a link in the description to it. But basically, Call of Duty and Infinity Ward, they released a new campaign gameplay, and it's quite a long one as well, showing off the first campaign mission from the game called Black Sky. This is kind of the introduction to the game, the kind of prologue mission, the first one you'll have when you start up campaign. And basically a lot of people, and I'm actually really happy about this to be honest, a lot of people are now starting to give Infinite Warfare a chance. Like, people have changed their opinion quite a lot as time has gone on, and this is kind of what Activision said would happen. So I'm not gonna like go ahead and say Activision and all that, you know, they were right and stuff like that, because I think criticism is good for a game. And despite all the hate that Infinite Warfare had, like, there were some elements of it even I didn't like, and I'm like a really hardcore Call of Duty fan. Like, I don't care what they release, I'll probably buy it and I'll probably like it. But I do have my own criticisms of Call of Duty games and all stuff I don't like. And to be honest, a lot of the hate for Infinite Warfare I can actually relate and understand to it. But I think people just hated on it a little bit too much. I think it got a little bit out of hand, and now as time has progressed and they've shown more as they said they would, we've kind of seen a little bit what more we actually wanted to see. So stuff that the community actually kind of like. So straight off, this gameplay is only boots on the ground. That is it. It's literally, there's no thrusting. There's only one part in the actual, I think maybe there's two actually. There's two parts in the entire thing where there are thrusters being used, but it's not by the player. One is an enemy using it, each sort of thrusts up. And then another one is in the segment that we actually see in the trailer where you're running up the hill towards the tower. You have some of your friendly Sato forces using it as well. And one thing I would like to kind of address about the thrust jumping in this game is something that I noticed, and that's that it kind of actually, now hear me out before I finish with this, it kind of looks like Advanced Warfare's jump, but much less of it. Like, we've already heard that it's similar to Black Ops 3, and we know that they're called RCS thrusters. But to me it looks like, instead of in Black Ops 3 where you have the thrust meter and you double tap X and you sort of thrust a little bit, it kind of just does a quick burst into the air. Like, it's not an Advanced Warfare extra jump where it's straight in the air, really high up, you know, really fast boost. It's more like a more controlled short burst. It's like a little hop, really, like a thrust hop, if you kind of get me what I'm trying to say there. So I think it's a very different movement system to Black Ops 3, despite them saying it's similar, and is different from Advanced Warfare, but it's kind of like them two blended together in a way, in a good way, in my opinion. We did see in the last gameplay, the ship assault, there was a boost meter when he slided, so we know there is kind of like a thrust slide. But we also see in this gameplay the character does slide and there's no boost meter, but there's also no HUD as well in this gameplay, so it's a little bit confusing there. We don't really know if he thrusted or not. It didn't look like it, but in my opinion, what I think they'll do with this in terms of multiplayer with the thrusters, it'll basically be like a thrust hop. So you'll double jump and you'll go really, like, not very far in the air. Like, you might not even be able to reach a second story building, a second story like level with it. It'll probably just get you up to kind of like a ladder height, maybe a little bit less, so you can thrust onto a ladder. I definitely don't think it's going to be as high as you can jump in Advanced Warfare, and I definitely don't think it's as fast as you can jump either. So it's kind of like a more controlled, toned down version of the exo jump. That's what I've seen so far anyway, and I know that's a lot of people, is their kind of thing with Infinite Warfare at the moment, is they're worried about the thrust movement. But from what I've seen, it looks pretty good. I kind of like it. It works. As long as it does actually hold true to that, and it's not an actual exo jump. I don't think it is. I can't see them actually lying, saying, you know, it's like Black Ops 3, but then it's nothing like Black Ops 3, if you know what I mean. But apart from that, in terms of other things in the gameplay, the graphics are fantastic. Like, one thing I noticed that kind of made me think a little bit is that the graphics in this actual gameplay look completely different to the graphics we saw in the reveal trailer. Like, the reveal trailer is primarily made up of this mission, so what we're seeing in this mission is basically the reveal trailer but as a gameplay format, and it looks completely different. It looks fantastic. I'm pretty sure in the reveal trailer it was actually daytime in this mission. Now it's actually switched to nighttime in this mission. Maybe that was a design choice. They changed between the time of the reveal trailer being made and the Black Sky gameplay being recorded, but it's nighttime and it looks absolutely beautiful. It's fantastic. The lighting and the graphics look really good. This is fantastic. Honestly, I think it's probably the best looking Call of Duty we've seen so far, and I think prior to Black Ops 3, I would say Advanced Warfare was probably the best looking in terms of graphics. I think Black Ops 3 kind of stepped it down with the graphics a little bit. There are some things I like about Black Ops 3 in terms of like how they've 3D rendered things and stuff, but the overall appearance of Black Ops 3, in my opinion, doesn't look as good as Advanced Warfare, and I think Infinite Warfare looks beyond. It kind of looks like Frostbite engine, if anything, which is a compliment, really. We don't actually know what engine it's running on. I'm fairly sure we don't. It's probably the Call of Duty engine, which is the one they've used for years, which is kind of annoying, but it looks fantastic, so I can't really complain there. The other thing I really noticed is the sounds. Like, honestly, Advanced Warfare did fantastic with some of the sounds. Black Ops 3, I really didn't like the sounds in Black Ops 3. I'm going to be truly honest. I think they could have been worked on a little bit better. The Advanced Warfare sounds were awful on the guns, but good on things like explosions and stuff. Infinite Warfare, perfect. Honestly, the explosions, the guns, everything sounds really good. You can tell that when they say they're passionate about this game, they really are. IW are working so hard to try and win their fans back and make them give IW a chance, which I think is really good. I think this is where criticism in Call of Duty has an effect, because you can tell they're listening to their fan base. Like, even though this game was developed 3 years ago when they didn't know futuristic combat would receive such a bad response, so they can't help that. The fact this is a future game, that can't be helped. It was developed for 3 years. We have to remember that. But even though they've done that, they've kept with it, they've sticked with it, and they've tried to make it as best as they possibly can, to try and prove the community wrong, try and show them, yes, it can be a good game. And I think that's really good. It's really healthy for Call of Duty that they're doing all this, and it's something new. We haven't had a space combat Infinite Call of Duty game before, which some people might not like. I know a lot of people don't like, actually, but it is shaping up to be really cool. Like, everything they could do right about this game while it's in this future setting is done correctly. So they're doing it in such a way that the setting doesn't matter all that much, because the gameplay is all boots on the ground. That's what most of us wanted anyway. Me personally, I don't mind the movement, but it was completely boots on the ground. If it looked like Modern Warfare, you know, that's what people want. In terms of the majority of the community, and that's what they're delivering, really. So I think people who are still complaining about Infinite Warfare either haven't, one, seen the Black Sky gameplay, or two, they need a little bit more time, which is fair enough. I understand that. Maybe they need more time for it to kind of sort of reveal more stuff so they get more used to it, perhaps. Or I know there are a lot of people out there who just reject the idea of space warfare and all that, and I'm fine with that. It's honestly, you know, it's all personal preference. Like, if you don't like space combat, you don't like future warfare and stuff like that, fair enough. It's just, I think people should give it a chance. Even if you like that, I reckon you should at least play a few matches and see if you like it, you know, get used to it a little bit. And if you don't, fair enough, you know, you can play Modern Warfare Remastered, fine by me. But apart from that, literally, I think this gameplay is fantastic. It is a very long type of gameplay, and we also have the transition into space, so we get to see the space combat, and that too looks a lot changed from not only the reveal trailer, but it looks a little bit changed from the space assault gameplay as well, the ship assault gameplay, sorry. It looks really fast. It looks like you can control your Jackal really well. You've got to remember, that's not on rails. You are like fully controlling that spaceship, that you were in control of that. And it looks mad. Some of the maneuvers it does is crazy, like the part where it gets so close to an SDF destroyer and it sort of does like a barrel roll, and it literally skims the bottom of it. It looks fantastic. Like, honestly, it's not as sci-fi and out there as things like Star Wars, which I think is good. I mean, Star Wars is cool. Star Wars Battlefront was kind of cool, but you know, it's just when you get older and you start to mature a little bit more, that kind of stuff just doesn't have the same appeal it did when you were a kid. But this space combat stuff is kind of like a perfect blend between realism, authenticity, and then your kind of sci-fi fantasies all thrown into one big mix, and it's pretty cool. I like it. I think it's pretty awesome. So I always thought I was going to give Infinite Warfare a chance from the second they revealed it, but I know the vast majority of people wouldn't agree with that. But I've got it pre-ordered. I have the Digital Deluxe Edition pre-ordered, as you'd probably imagine. And I'm literally going to be playing it on midnight of the release. That's when it unlocks for me. I think I can pre-download as well, which is fantastic. So what I'm going to do on day one for you guys is I'm literally going to get a gameplay straight out of multiplayer. I'm going to do my first gameplay match recorded. If I have my Elgato bought and set up by then, because that's what I'm planning on buying in the near future, I will live stream it instead, because I think that'd be pretty cool. You can see my first reactions to the multiplayer portion of it. And if you know me very well as a YouTuber, I don't over exaggerate. I don't do that kind of thing. You know, when I did supply drop openings back before all the controversy, I would never overreact to something. I think that's kind of silly in a way. So you're going to see my true opinions and my true reactions of the game, and I think that's something that's very important for any YouTuber. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and thank you all for listening, and anyone who supports my channel, likes my videos and stuff, thank you so much. You are awesome, and I will be seeing you on my next video. And one thing I'm going to say before I go is that I keep saying I'm going to push up the DLC 2 Idea Darkness. I keep saying it's going to be the next video. I can't keep that promise anymore, because I'm thinking of changing it up a little bit, just purely because of the release of God Crow. It kind of screwed with my ideas a little bit. I know that sounds funny, but I might have to go back on it and change things up a little bit before I release it. Otherwise, I feel like it's not going to be the best it could be. So I'm going to do that. If you want to see the third DLC pack idea that's coming out in the quite distant future, I can release that for you guys as well. But anyway, again, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your support, and I will see you on the next video. Hotel Delta out.